Palestinians returning to Gaza through the Rafah crossing say they were abused and humiliated while being interrogated by Israeli forces. Hamas says it's part of a deliberate Israeli attempt to instill fear and deter Palestinians from returning to their homeland. 9 women and 3 children entered the Gaza Strip on Monday, the first returning batch after Israel reopened the crossing between Gaza and Egypt. Here's what one returnee endured while making the journey home.
The army took us and blindfolded us. They took me, my mother and another woman. They tied our hands and began questioning us about things we didn't know and had no connection to. They didn't allow us to cross with anything. They emptied everything before letting us through. We were only allowed to take the clothes on our back and only 1 bag per person.
Things were very difficult and inspections were taking place everywhere. They searched all of our belongings, especially at the Israeli checkpoint. They would examine the bags and then return them to us, and we were searched several times.
And Israel has allowed only 16 Palestinian patients to leave the Gaza Strip on the second day of the reopening of the Rafah crossing. More than 20,000 sick and wounded Palestinians are desperately waiting for their turn.
I lost bones, 12 centimeters, and the main artery was cut. All the hospitals, Nasser Hospital, Al Shifa Hospital, and all the doctors told me I need a bone transplant surgery abroad. I submitted an application and did a transfer to go abroad to do my operation. This is my transfer paper. It was done 10 months ago. Where is the Board of Peace? Where is the world? Are they waiting for my leg to get amputated?
Let's bring in Hind Al-Khudari, who's in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza, for us. Hind, update us on the numbers that have been able to leave through Rafah and why there's been a delay.
Well, so far, only 16 Palestinians were allowed to leave Rafah along with their companions. But also, there's a lot of restrictions, a lot of control and authority on who is supposed to leave. And we also need to know that there are 20,000 Palestinians that are urgently needed to leave the Gaza Strip. But definitely, there's a lot of restrictions on the number of Palestinians that is supposed to leave. Now, why are these restrictions? Why only 16 out of the number that has been supposed to be or agreed upon? There is no reason or clarification of what or how the process of the number of people that are going out. Also, the fact that the number of people returning was also 12 and 38 were also missing, where some of the people saying that they do not know what happened with the 38 others that have been stuck. They don't know if they're still undergoing the search, what is going to happen. But also families said that they are still waiting for their families that are supposed to return today to the Gaza Strip. Yesterday, the 12 Palestinians arrived at 1 a.m. So we're still waiting for more returnees, but obviously it's a very tough journey.
Indeed, and also a tough journey for those who've returned to Gaza. You've been speaking to some of them, Hind. What have they told you about the process of going back home and what they're finding once they arrive?
Well, the testimonies we heard are literally terrifying, where mothers and women were those who returned along with their children. They said that they were interrogated, they were blindfolded, they were humiliated, and some of them have been tortured and sexually harassed as they arrived to the Rafah crossing. They also said that they were interrogated and searched by both the Israelis and also Abu Shabab militias, and these are cooperating along with the Israeli forces. But also they said that it has been taking a lot of hours, where this is something they did not expect to happen, where they stayed in the bus for a long number of hours, and they arrived after midnight. Now, what we also need to know is there's a lot of restrictions, a lot of search. You're not allowed to bring anything inside with you to the Gaza Strip. And this shows how restricting and how humiliating coming into the Gaza Strip and leaving the Gaza Strip is. This is not the crossing, or this is not the opening Palestinians were looking forward to. They thought that this is going to be a freedom of movement, but this is definitely another way of restricting the Palestinians and restricting their freedom of movement.
Thank you, Hind, for the update. That's Hind Al-Khudari reporting there live from Khan Yunis.